Happy New Year to everyone watching me. Whether you are new on this channel or you are, just stopping by, I really wish you a very happy New Year. And I hope that this year brings us a lot more successes than the previous years combined together. This is my very first video for the year 2024. And so in keeping with my tradition, in this video, I'll be sharing with you my financial goals for the year 2024. Of course, the aim for sharing these goals is not to show off what lofty ideas we have. Very far from that. Rather, it is to have something that we can measure our successes against at the end of the year. And I know you probably have your own resolutions. And so I actually hope that this video gives you some ideas to reconsider or to think about. But if you've decided not to make resolutions at all, then I hope you can, adopt or adapt these ones for your own situation. Because this journey towards financial freedom can be a very lonely one. And so if you have, diaspora careers and investment to work with, then it makes it a lot more, easier and to, know how well you are getting on. So let's dig in. Welcome to Diaspora Careers and Investments. My name is Shadrach, and in this video, I'll be sharing with you my financial goals for the year 2024. I understand that these goals are specific to myself or people in similar situations. And so instead of simply sharing the financial goals with you, I'll actually be sharing with you 3 financial principles that I'll be living by this year. And for each principle, I'll share with you how it translates into my financial goals. Because it is my hope that even if you do not identify with these goals because of my unique position, then you can use at least the principles because I believe these to be universal. So let's start. The first principle that I'll be living by this year is to live below your means. In fact, let me personalize it. I'll live below my means. This simply means to spend less than you earn or to earn more than you spend, because that is the only way you can have something to save. And I know to live below your means would mean different things to different people. For some people, it would mean cutting down drastically on your expenses. This may include, stopping the takeaways or stopping eating outside or even moving, from where you currently live to a more humble neighborhood. It would mean different things to different. In fact, selling some of your equipment, your gadgets, your old clothes, whatever that means to you. But for some of you also, you've already, reduced your expenses as far as is possible. That you can't reduce it any further because, let's face it, there's only an extent to which you can reduce your expenses. You couldn't say that, you are not going to eat again, how nice that would be. But you must feed. You must have a place to lay your head. So there are some expenses that you cannot cut out, but you can minimize. The Netflix can go away. The Amazon Prime can go away. There are some things that can go away. Of course, I'm not saying deny yourself all the pleasures there is to life, no. But know what you can afford and what you cannot afford. If you've done all of these and still, you are not, having enough to save, then it would mean that, you have to increase your income. It may mean, changing jobs or seeking a promotion or, finding a side hustle, a side gig. You need to increase your income or doing both. And that is where my own goal comes in. I find myself in a position whereby, my expenses, is going to increase because as, some of you may know, my family size has increased for very good reasons. So yeah, exciting. But that means that my expenses are going to increase and some of the expenses I cannot cut down. So the only way I can live below my means is to increase my income. I have estimated or I've budgeted and I know that I need to increase my income by about 40%. How am I going to do that? It would mean, investing more in, side hustles, using my weekends to see, if I can get some consultancies or some gigs that will give me some extra income. I don't know what this would mean for you, but for me, it means I have to increase my income somehow. In fact, it would also mean applying for promotion, something I've tried not to do for a while because I did not want, the extra, headache. But I guess it is about time, that I get some, extra income. And so that is what I will be doing. Let me know in the comment section what you'll be doing for this year to increase your income or to reduce your expense. What are you going to cut out? The second principle I'll be living by this year is to save the difference between my income and expense. So after the first stage where I've talked about, reducing your expenses or increasing your income, the next thing you want to do is to save the difference. Of course, more importantly is where you save this money. Because if you put in an account that pays little interest rate, then even though you are saving money, your money is losing value, and you don't want that. In fact, in this year, I am not saving in any account that pays less than 5%. So you want to match it to at least the inflation figure so that when your money is lying down, it is not losing value. And that is really important. And there are several accounts that pays, good interest rates. Metro Bank, for example, pays, over 5% at the moment. Santander has an account that pays over 5%. And in fact, there are several ones of these. So what does this mean for me, for Shadrach? For me, this would mean, saving at least £1,000 per month this year. Yeah, before you come shouting like, hey, how is that possible? I don't even... Relax. I find myself in a position whereby, I do not have a mortgage at all. If you've not seen that video of how I paid off my mortgage, then I'll put a link to that in the description box below. In that video, I shared the trick that I used to pay off my mortgage. And if you follow that video, you would know that I used a lot of credit cards to pay off my mortgage. That means that I've got credit cards to pay off, and they start kicking in from November. I still have 11 months to pay them off, but they'll start kicking in. Until then, I've got the luxury of not having to pay rent or pay, mortgage or pay any of these expenses. And so at least I can afford to save £1,000 per month. This may not be your situation. You may have, rent to pay. You may have a mortgage to pay, or you may have, something to pay. And so you can't save £1,000. That is fine. Whatever. I hope you are able to save something. So back to my own situation. What does it mean? This means that I will open, 2 or 3 regular saver accounts where I would put these monies. For example, First Direct has an account that pays 7%. And so I would open one of those accounts. And I know that Barclays also have something that pays about 5.5%. I would open another of that. NatWest has one where they pay 6.5%. I would open that. The principle here is that I open several accounts that pays at least 5%. And so out of the £1,000, I'll put 300 in First Direct, I'll put 250 in NatWest, I'll put 150 in Barclays. I'll spread these monies so that while they are being kept there, it is earning me an income. I hope this, principle makes sense. So for you, if you are saving, say, £300 per month, if that is what you can afford, then it means all you need is maybe one regular saver account so that you set a direct debit and then every month you pay into that account. But of course, if you are fortunate to be able to save more than that, then you want to open multiple, regular saver accounts. I say regular saver accounts because they tend to usually pay a higher interest rate than the easy access ones. Easy access ones, can pay 5.5, but regular savers can pay, say, 7%. So even more sometimes. So that's what you want to do. I think Nationwide is currently paying about 7.5%. So that is also a good one to consider. Bottom line is that you want to save the difference of what you are able to save in a high interest paying savings account. Let me know if you'd like to know, the various, banks that pay very high interest rates this year. And I'll make sure to record that video for you. Let me know in the comment section also, what other, good interest savings accounts that you are aware of. The third and the final principle is to invest for the long term and be diversified. So I've already recorded, several videos of how to invest in the stock market via S&P 500. And for me, this year, I'll be doing a lot more of that. In fact, last year, I sold some of my assets, and so it brought my investments down. With hindsight, it wasn't, the greatest idea. Of course, I used some of that money to pay off my mortgage, and so, it was a win-win situation. But, to be honest, with hindsight, I should not have sold those assets because they would have appreciated even more. And so that is the lesson I have learned, which I'm not ashamed to share with you. And so I hope, you join me on this journey also. I plan to invest for 20 years, 30 years. And so for that purpose, I'll be investing in the stock market using stocks and shares ISA, as well as a private pension. I'll be doing a lot more of private pension because whatever you invest, the government adds 25% bonus to that. And even if you are a high income taxpayer, you may get even up to 40% bonus. So why not? Remember that if you use the stocks and shares ISA option, you can take the money out anytime and you don't pay taxes on the interest. However, if you use the pension vehicle, that means that you would have to wait till you are 66 or even more in order to have that money. And so I'll be doing both at the same time. I'll be investing in a private pension while also investing in the stocks and shares ISA using the S&P 500 as well as other assets. But the key here is to invest in the long term. Like I said, I sold some of the assets, which wasn't great because now my assets are still appreciating. But if you play the long-term game, you are likely to win. If you try to monitor the market or to time the market and buy when it's low and sell when it's high, chances are that you may miss out, and so that may not be a great strategy. But if yours is a long-term strategy, 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, even 10 years is good enough, then you are certainly going to win, because it doesn't matter whether the stocks are selling for £70 today or £60 today. In the long term, you know that it will certainly sell higher than you are buying it today. And so that will be the game that I'll be playing this year. That will be my investment strategy, really. Invest for the long term and be diversified. Currently, I've got a lot of assets in real estate, which is quite disproportionate. Real estate, of course, is great, but I already have quite a few real estate assets. So this year I would want to reduce a bit of the real estate side so that I push a bit of money into the stocks and shares. Remember, this is my situation. It may not fit yours. If you are also overly exposed in the stock market, then perhaps you want to move a bit into the real estate market. So remember, this is my situation. It may not be yours. I've got a bit of real estate, so now I want to do a bit more of stocks and shares, and even other investments, which as I go along in the course of the year, I would share with you what other things I am investing in. I know I may be stressing this point, but it is really crucial that you recognize that these goals are specific to Shadrach and anyone in a similar position as me. However, the principles are abiding, the principles are universal, and they are: 1, to live below your means; 2, save the difference; and 3, to invest for the long term and be diversified. This will mean different things to different people. But if you'd like to have a conversation with these, about these further, I'm happy to catch up with you to see how you can, make these goals, applicable to you. But for me, I've already shared how I'll be going about them. Do let me know in the comment section what goals you have for this year. How do you intend to what assets do you intend to buy? Where do you intend to invest in? What properties are you thinking of buying? What are you thinking of doing? Let us share these so that we can walk along this journey towards financial freedom together. It can be a very lonely one, and so I hope that this year I can serve you well on this journey. If there are any specific videos you want me to record this year, do let me know. But if you'd like to see my next video on what assets that I hold and which ones I've sold and how I am managing my investment assets, do let me know. But don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And I promise you this year, we've got something great in stock for you. On to the next video. Adios and God bless.